Hey guys, there's been a lot of uncertainty lately with AI, a lot of doom and gloom. And the question I keep coming back to is how to stay motivated through it all. I don't know. My name's Laura. I'm a 3D storyboard artist. I work primarily with Blender. And I saw this video from Boston Dynamics. It is showing Atlas, this humanoid robot, performing these complex camera movements. And they swear it's not replacing humans this time, it's only to augment creativity. But why a humanoid robot? They pointed to drones, saying that drones opened up a whole library of cinematic shots that we did not have access to before. But with drones, like humans can't fly. Those are shots that we actually just could not have gotten before. Even helicopters can't perform the work that a drone gets these days. So, why are we teaching Atlas how to hold and perform camera operations? It's an interesting question. Why are we teaching the robots to take our jobs? But the good news is that reminds me of robots, reminds me of Wally. And the director of Wally, Andrew Stanton, he really, really admired science fiction when he was a kid. He was drawing on that for a great deal of inspiration as he's crafting the production design and he's crafting the shots. And he's working with Marty Rosenberg and Ralph Eggleston. And they're wondering, like, okay, like, why does this look so artificial? Why does this look so perfect? What's going on? And so they were like joking around and they asked if they could bring in some cinematographers. And somebody pitched Roger Deakins, and the studio actually greenlit that. The studio said yes. And so Roger Deakins came to Pixar for a couple days, and he gave a couple tech demos where he showed them how to light. And sorry, rewinding. Who's Roger Deakins? Roger Deakins is the cinematographer's cinematographer. He is the guy who started his career in 70s and 80s, took a look at the three-point lighting from classic Hollywood, and he just threw it out the window. He stripped it down. He did a lot of work with the Coen brothers. He did a couple of the James Bond movies, the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. Like, he is the guy that people have pointed to in the last 20 to 30 years because he's taken that classic three-point lighting and he's thrown it out the window and he's stripped it down and he has created fewer elements. He stopped overlighting so that there's less information for your brain to process. So you get a quicker read of the image and it's therefore more aesthetically appealing. And it's just so interesting. He does a lot with silhouette. He does a lot with shadow. It's very Caravaggio. So he goes to Pixar and he starts doing these tech demos and he starts to explain that lens crafters have spent their entire life trying to make perfect glass. And they can't. It's like there's always going to be just like a little bit of artifacting in the glass. There's always just going to be a little bit of metal that's just a little bumpy over here. And he and his team will sometimes go in and embrace these imperfections in the glass itself, where they'll take lenses and they'll smudge the outside of the lens in order to create more and more interesting artifacting. And that is something that really elevated Wally. He worked with Andrew Stanton and the team to start implementing these imperfections into the lenses and the camera work. It's really funny because there's like this shot in Wally where Wally is like racing down one of the hallways and these shopping carts are like speeding past and about to crash into him. And the camera is whip panning to try to keep up with him. And the focus puller misses the shot actually. He doesn't actually get the moment of impact and then rack focuses to Eve. And it's funny because I say focus puller, but there isn't a focus puller. It's all just a simulation. But within this simulation, they went in and they started creating these human imperfections. And the only way they knew that they would be human imperfections was because as humans, they knew that the lens, the shifting of the focus was going to be inaccurate. And they knew by how much to tweak that. There's something so aesthetically beautiful about imperfections, about things that are wrong. And that is something, that artifacting, that mess, that entropy, that is something that elevated Wall-E to the classic that it is today. So you and all of your imperfections are so incredibly important and valuable and beautiful. You only get a little spark of madness in this world. You don't want to lose it.